I'm Raphael Bob-Waksberg. I created the show BoJack Horseman. I'm here to talk about a new show that I co-created with Kate Purdy called Undone, coming to Amazon Prime very soon.
So,
BoJack Horseman, you've never been to Comic-Con?
I've never been to Comic-Con.
Oh my
I've never seen
goodness.
it.
Wow.
So I know that rotoscoping was used during this. So what was that like? Did you see any of that done, or like did you have any part of that choice? Or
I mean, I've been a big fan of Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly, and I think it's such a cool technique to shoot with these actors and then have these animators, go over them and bring out their performances in really cool ways. We talked about when we were developing the show, is it animated, is it live action, what is the look of it, what is the feel of it? And I really liked the idea, and I know Kate did too, of living in this animated world that felt very grounded. And that we didn't want this to feel like a superhero show or like an extraordinary show. We wanted the show to be something that took place in the real world, and then suddenly strange things started happening. And so I think the rotoscopy technique really helps with that feeling, because you feel while you're watching, like, oh yeah, these are real people compared to other cartoons. But then when magical things start happening, it's not as jarring as like, oh, a special effect came in. It still feels like, oh, we're still in the same world, but all of a sudden, it's a little different.
And then, so how would you best describe the show? Like, what is it about?
So Undone is a dramedy about a young woman named Alma who's very bored of her life, bored of her routine, is hoping for something more. She gets in a car accident, and when she wakes up from her coma, the way she perceives the world has changed, and the way she moves through time has changed, and that she seems to lose control over the order of events in her life, or she goes from one place to another with no memory of how she got there. Things start to happen in a loop. She feels completely unstuck in time. And her father, who has been dead for several years, appears before her and says, you've reached this new plane now, and I need you to develop these skills so you can go back in time and stop me from being murdered. And she doesn't know if indeed she has gained these new abilities or if she's losing her mind. And that's the show, basically, in a nutshell.
What is it you want the audience to take away from it?
I don't necessarily want the audience to take away one thing or another. I am excited for the audience to take away what they will. I think it's a show that is open to many interpretations, and I think it's a show that will meet people where they are. I hope people come to it with their own lived experience and their own expectations, and then I hope that it speaks to them or reverberates with them in whatever ways it does.
So I know from like BoJack Horseman can occasionally be a very nihilistic show, but it on deeper levels it also has this layer of hope and redemption and cycles as well, especially when it comes to BoJack and other characters within it. And the way you're talking about this show with the way that things are going in loops, and it sounds like she's stuck. Do you think that there are parallels kind of within this, or do you feel like this is a completely different?
Oh no, I think very much. If you are a fan of BoJack, you will find things to be a fan of with this show. It is very different, but I think they share a sensibility and an interest in human behavior. Although BoJack is not all about humans, but I do believe it is about human behavior. And I think the way that we relate to each other and the way we relate to ourselves is something that I'm really interested in exploring, and we do it a lot on this show.
And then, it sounds like this show is radically different than BoJack. What was it about it that appealed to you after coming off of that project?
I've done BoJack, and I'm still doing BoJack, and so it's nice to do other things. I was really interested in working with Kate Purdy and helping her develop the show that she wanted to develop. And I liked the idea that this would be different, that it wouldn't just feel like more of the same thing you're used to. I think there's a wide world of possibilities in adult animation that have not necessarily been explored as much as they could have. I think that there are very few shows about women in the world of adult animation, or interested in the interiority of women. I think there are very few adult animated dramedies. I can't really think of any. And so, I like the idea of let's explore more of this world. Let's find other kinds of stories we can tell with these formats.
How do you explain the success